Hello guys, welcome to Kote TV. This is the King's Lounge hosted by Mwavali, Derrick, Dangote. And remember, the King's Lounge is all about politics, amongst other things. And we want to dive into the politics of Pwani University. We want to discuss about the state of Pwani University since the election of the current regime. Remember, during the election process, we had the CRM and the CAN coalition. I'm joined by an aspirant in the CAN coalition who's vying for the seat of the finance secretary, that is Anthony Chelotti, whom people know as Senior Chelotti. And I'm also joined by one of the POESA active members, and also he was an aspirant, and one of the biggest campaigners of the CAN coalition, famously known as Senator Pwani, but today we'll get to know his real name. So welcome to the show, guys. It's a great honor to have you on the King's Lounge. And let's begin with Chelotti. Maybe you can give us a brief introduction of yourself, which course you pursue in Pwani University, how life has been in Pwani University, and I really want to know what is the origin of the name Senior.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm Nyongesa Anthony Chelotti. That is now my full name, and alias Senior Chelotti, as many knows. I'm a student at Pwani University. By now, and by God's grace, I'm a fourth year. I pursue Bachelor of Arts, Economics, and I'm a senior economist, as the way I can put it. Now, you've asked me about where did this Senior Chelotti came from.
Yeah.
Senior means somebody who knows what other people doesn't know. And in the field of politics, I know more than people may think I know. Like, for example, there were wrangles before even we formed the coalition. People were saying that let's give Senior Chelotti the chairmanship, then let's give somebody else. Then I used to wonder, why are they saying Senior Chelotti? I asked one of the guys, then he said, because you are senior. And that is the only reason he was telling us. You are senior, you know more than what we know.
Wow. So that's the origin.
That is the origin. Wow. Then I said, wow.
And our second guest, Senator. But what is the origin of the title Senator of Pwani? And give us a brief introduction of yourself.
Okay. It's fine. I'm Abel Kadima. Those are actually my official names, Abel Kadima. I am a son from the western part of this country. Some people saw it better to name me Senator of Pwani for the reasons well known to them. Remember, when you are given a nickname, in most cases, you may decide to deny it. But the more you deny it, the more someone else chooses to push it. So when we are talking about Senator, people saw something in me that maybe I did not see it on my own. So they decided to name me Senator, and the world right now calls me a Senator more than even Abel or Kadima.
Today we want to talk about the state of Pwani University. And let's begin with the Chelotti. You are a member of the CAN coalition, that was Comrade Action Network, if I'm not wrong. And maybe the CAN coalition lost the election. Yeah. According to you, why did CAN lose the election?
That's good. This is a very good question. So at this particular time, I'm having several answers to give out and reasons to explain why we lost. Now, a CAN coalition was the best coalition. Even all students or all comrades will tell you it is one coalition that had many supporters. Okay. One, many chose to follow CAN because they knew we had money. Two, those who wanted to spearhead our coalition had their own or personal interest. That's why they decided to follow us, form a coalition for us, and see who can fit here best and not here. For example, my people or my community, that is students from the western region part of Kenya, they saw it better for me to become the chair or the president of the university. That's why they decided to endorse me. But reaching on the negotiation table, Those people who had personal interest saw it better that Chelotti not to become the president of the coalition, but to become the finance secretary. That was one of the best reasons as why we lost. That brought about disorganization in the coalition. Then two, our voters or our supporters. As the norm, Pwani University, many students are supposed to vote, or all students who are supposed to vote, they are supposed to have cleared their fees. Everyone knows that. But the mountain we had, majority of them had not cleared fees. Now, how can you tell us that? Yes, you have supporters, but they have not cleared fee. How will you merit, or how will you succeed to fit in that office?
That was the biggest challenge.
Yeah, those are the two challenges that we had.
Now, according to you, Senator, being a member of the CIN coalition, not as a candidate, but as a mobilizer, what are, let's say, 3 reasons that you saw that led to the loss of the CIN coalition?
Actually, I was not a member of CIN coalition. I was a spokesperson of the CIN coalition, not a member. So, and on my own view, what really led to the loss of CIN was, there were several factors to be considered. But then CIN, in the last election, it was for CIN to win. CAN was to win. But what made us lose was simply one reason: poor coordination at the coalition level. Poor coordination at the coalition level. I even remember sometimes people go into meetings and did not agree. So that was one of the reasons as to why we lost. Poor coordination at the coalition level, whereby we are having a meeting and some people feel like they are more knowledgeable than the others. So the responsibility of doing decisions on behalf of the coalition was paralyzed into 2 factions within the coalition table. So we are having some people who feel like, no, this is how we should do things. And we have the other side whereby they believe this is how things should be done. So in all these issues, the coordination was extremely poor. What I mean by poor coordination again is we lacked a listening ear to the ground. So we're having people on the table, they are doing their planning, but they do not consider what's happening on the ground. It's very hard to plan politics without considering the people, their view and all that. Yeah.
Then also to add on that, as I had told you earlier, that these students or these supporters knew that we had money. So those one who were supporting us, they were supporting us in the name of what are we going to get from
the coalition.
You can see, like those who are spearheading, the way Mr. Abeli has said, we had this guy from Mombasa. He came from Mombasa just to organize for us, forgetting that we are the ones on the ground. We know, which guy is having many supporters and which one is having less. You want to form this coalition on the friendly basis because this guy is my friend and this one is not my friend. Then you dump this one, forgetting that this guy has many friends or has many supporters, of which he can bring them on board. So you can see those are just simple arithmetics that they fail to apply. Then also you can see those executive members from the community level. Like in our case, we had our chair who was to be included in all the meetings that were held during that time. But you will get to find that whenever these 3 guys, those who are spearheading, they could have a meeting, they will put him aside. So how will he tell his people that you have to go to this direction when you have not been included on that discussion? It was very difficult for them.
Indeed, that is one of the most difficult things in politics or even in any organization, lack of coordination and also lack of clear channels of communication. Now, CRM won the election. They formed the government. We saw.
And actually, CRM won the elections 2 days before the election day. They won that election 2 days before the election day.
Why say 2 days?
On my personal level, because I was too much on the ground and on the table, and on my own, I realized that we are losing it, especially during the last rally. I knew things are not going on right. I gave myself an assignment, and I had to confirm the strategies of CRM, and I realized that they have beaten us a day before the election. A meeting was convened at one of the hotels by the CAN coalition, that is CAN. I went there with strategies on how to counter the strategies of CRM. But when I arrived in the meeting, where the CAN coalition executives were having their meeting, they adjourned the meeting by saying an intruder has intruded their meeting. Because I was with several friends of mine that we believe we are losing it. So at the moment when they decided that they are joining the meeting and they are going for lunch, I didn't really know what the reason was. But then following up and down, I realized that these guys have been in that meeting from 10 a.m. and it was now going to 1 p.m. and whoever called them to the meeting was also having another meeting. So these guys in that particular room, they were already bored. So we lost the election 2 days. The election was won during the last rally, the Wednesday rally. But then, as a spokesperson of a coalition, I could not come out and say that we have lost the election.
Yeah.
We tried our best. We really tried. But then, God did the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, CRM won the election. I'm told it's 2 or 3 days to the election, and now they formed the government. During the campaign, we saw they were really close. They were really well coordinated. According to you, Chelotti, as a member of the opposition team, what can you say about the coordination between the PUSA officials currently?
Okay, thank you so much. You know, in leadership, people get into leadership with different interests. There is the interest of the people, and there is the interest of an individual who is you and who has won. Now, when they got into the government, they started chasing their own interest, forgetting the interest of the many. Now, we are here, we won as a coalition. You as the president, I as the finance, him as the secgen. You are having the interest of those who kept you in that office. I'm having my own interest. How will you expect us to work together? You can't. As just a proof to that, when we had the first year's orientation meeting, you saw whatever happened. The SecGen stepped in the meeting 1 hour after the meeting had started. What does that depict? Totally different from the expectation of the people. Then from there, the gender and welfare secretary came in 2 hours after the meeting had started. That means there are superiority conflicts there. Then also, we were around their offices. You know, when you are opposition leader, you need to collect information wisely. I had to send my people around their offices just to get what they were having. Then I had myself, somebody receiving a slap. Then I had to ask my guys, what is going on there? When they brought a recording to me, I saw that these leaders are only quarreling over 1,000 shillings of allowances. You can really tell me, these people, they are championing their self-interest, they are self-centered, working under ego influence. Now, when you work under ego, that means you are not the one, or you are not sober-minded. That is the way I can put it. Now, as to finalize, whatever reasons I've laid, all of them shows that these people are not working together. Are you contented?
Now, them, okay, you have said they are not working together due to the actions that
Yeah.
that they are depicting on their meetings and maybe how they carry themselves.
Yes.
You as a leader,
Yes.
how can you resolve that? If you are the chair and
Yes.
such happens,
Yes.
you're called for a meeting, a member of your team comes late, or even when they come, they look not prepared. You as a leader,
Yes.
how will you resolve it at the next time?
Now, let's take as an assumption.
Yeah, it's an assumption.
As an assumption.
Yeah.
I'm now the president of this coalition and we've won.
Yeah.
Now, I must be the voice of the coalition. I must be the final. When I say, it means I've listened the rest of my members and I come up with the final decision. And they have to follow. And if not, we'll have to question each other, but in a wise way. We can't just start quarreling. No, we are leaders. And people are expecting best from us. So, for example, if I could be nation, of which I can't be, and of which it cannot be me. The best decision is to offer good communication skills. You ensure you converse with these guys maturely. They'll listen to you. And when they listen to you, they'll respond positively. Those conflicts will never be there.
Now, to Senator, you being the spokesperson of the CN coalition, and you attended also the freshers orientation, being in Pwani University. How do you term the coordination of the current post executives?
Now, or like, there is already an issue. Coordination of these people, were it even for can't win, will still be having issues. Because one, we're having these are people who are joined by politics. So people are having different ideologies.
But brought together with the act of getting a seat.
Yeah. So far so good. I can say the PUSA chair has failed.
Okay.
He has failed to accommodate the other executives. For a chair, what's the work of a chair? It's to call for meetings. In those meetings, it's where if you're having any issue, all those issues should be addressed in such a meeting. So, for the chair, he really needs to be very accommodative. But at the moment when the chair seems to be seeking attention, it becomes so hard. Because remember, when we are having CRM and CAN coalition, to some extent, CAN was not made up of so many attention-seeking individuals. When you look at CRM, it's full of attention-seeking individuals.
What do you mean by attention-seeking?
These are people who really want to take credit of everything.
Okay.
In a way that we are having an event that belongs to someone. But then someone else whose docket doesn't deal with that particular event really wants to take credit of what's happening. So these are guys who went into office because they want to be seen. We already know you are the president, you are the secretary general, you are the gender. We know. So it's time to act. But at the moment where we are having some people trying to convince us that they are working, let their work convince us.
On the issue of on the question of people convincing us that they are working, and let's see their work speak. Let's talk about some of the things they have done. They are terming them as their achievements so far. There is a proposal that there is a biometric system to be installed at the gate, and also the issue of the seats in the common room next to their offices, whereby the male common room has been invested in with seats. And lastly, there is a screen that the Sports and Entertainment Secretary has installed at Runda, among other things. On the term of work they are doing, each one doing the work. So far, according to the opposition team, how can you term their achievements?
Okay, very well. When we talk of the achievements, we need to converse or talk of the things that we are seeing or that we have seen as students. Now,
Okay.
I being a student at Pwani University, now I'm talking as now a student who usually gets in at Pwani University day in, day out. The biometric, I've never seen it. When he says that it has been installed, then it means it has been installed in his house.
Now, let me
That's
ask
one.
you, do you support the biometrics, the installation of the biometric system? I'm informed that it deals with when someone has paid in the entire fees is when one will be able to log in. And I've been conversing with some of my friends at Chuka University. They use the biometric system. You as the opposition leader, do you think the biometric system is the best way to address the issue of students being denied access because they lack the school ID?
Now, according from where I come from Luya land. And you know very well, our parents usually give birth to many kids. So paying school fees, so paying school fees or not paying school fees must be an issue to us. Must be an issue. As you can remember very well, when we lost as the CAN, what was the main issue? Our guys had not paid the school fees. And that is very clear that I am not in agreement with the installation of the biometric.
What is the best way? Because
the best way, now, we usually have our own school IDs.
Yeah.
When you don't have the school IDs, you are besieged to go look for an abstract.
Yeah.
An abstract is free. It's very free. When you go get one, you will use for 3 months.
So you don't support the biometric?
I don't support it.
Okay, let's pick. Let's get your view on the installation of the seats at the common room, the installation of the screen at Runda.
Now, one of the very most achievements that they have done, being honestly, is that of at Runda. But when we also look at that as their achievement, we also see some disadvantages on it. Runda, when we talk of Runda, it is a hostel. It is a hostel. More so for first years. Hostels are made for night spending. They need to go relax their mind. Now, for example, there are those guys who are not fans of football. They want to relax. They want to sleep. And that screen, when it is there, it is very attractive to these comrades. They'll go there, make noise. You know the fans of Manchester United. They'll make noise.
Manchester United but necessary.
They'll make noise. They'll make noise to these comrades. And these comrades, they'll be busy relaxing their mind. They want to wake up for the next day, go to class and concentrate for their studies. How will they concentrate if the whole night they have just spent listening to your noises? Surely, if it could be good or better, this screen to be taken near the field, they create a good shade at the field so that these people, they'll be viewing their or watching their sporting activities from the field. From there, they practice a little bit and then they acquire new skills around the field. But around the hostel, surely, they are failing. So there is no any single achievement that I can put across that these people, they have done.
Now, the seats.
The seats. Now, the seats are the common room, surely. Now, the seats that they have made, they are very strong. We agree, they are very strong. But can they really accommodate a good number of comrades? Or will lead comrades to fight? Or will create conflicts? Because it will be like the first come, first serve. When you go to release yourself, when you come back, it will be accommodated. Will you ask your fellow comrade to stand up so that you can sit? You can't. What will be prompted? For a fight. They'll fight. Now the seats at the LTN, do they really have the writing watch? They don't have. They're just single seats. In fact, those seats should be taken to our houses so that we can sit and relax with our fiancés. They are not studying seats.
Do you support the closure of the LTN all?
Yes. Now that LTN was closed the very, very day. Like, it is very, very annoying. Like you can see, the service are being held at the LTN, but any other meetings are not supposed to be held there. LTN is not a church. LTN is a multi-purpose hall of which any activity should be carried out in that hall. So that LTN must be, you have to underline the term must be open for any activity that is supposed to be carried out within the premises of Pwani University. It's for comrades. Now, when I talk of that LTN, I'll be linking it to the conflict of these young leaders, the egocentric leaders, of which the Secretary General is the one who besieged the Chief Security to go and close the LTN, only because he has not been allocated the 1,000 shillings for allowances. When I told you that these guys are only chasing their personal interest, you thought that I was lying. Can't you see that I was telling facts?
Senator, on your angle, the PUSA executive so far, how do you term their achievements? Have they managed, or they're still a way back? They pull up their socks?
Actually, in a scale of 0 to 10, I'll give them 2.
Was that a strong acid or a weak base? Was there a weak base or a weak acid? I don't remember. It never.
I'll give them 2 out of 10.
That's a strong acid. 1 to 3, strong acid.
Why 2?
I'll give them 2 because 1, we have never had a boogie night at Pwani University.
But I was told boogie night is the name for reggae night. It's just a modification of a name.
It actually doesn't matter, but what really matters is that they had it for the very first time. It has never happened. All along I've been having reggae nights and we had boogie night. With the other achievements, I cannot really see any achievement. So far so good. There is no achievement. You are talking about the proposal of the biometric system.
Yeah.
It's a proposal, but they're not telling us the consequences of having that system. They're only telling us that it's coming to replace the university IDs. And now my question is it replacing, according to you guys from the opposition team, is it replacing or is it coming in as a substitute?
An alternative, huh?
Yeah.
In any case, whether it's coming in as a substitute or it's coming in as a replacement of our university IDs, I'm totally against it. Because 1, with the coming in of biometric system, really means a lot, especially to comrades who come from poor backgrounds. Biometric system, it's working at Chuka University, it's working at other universities, even Kenyatta University. But then ask yourself, how about those who come from poor backgrounds? Can they access the institution? They can't. And the other question should be, we have been using IDs all along. IDs have been serving their purpose. When did it fail?
I think CRM are getting that question. When did they fail? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, away from their achievements, let's talk. They just released the tenders some few weeks ago. Do you think the tendering process was free, fair, and just? According to you?
No. Those people who are busy following and on Pwani one page, they used to see my writings there. When I was saying that these guys, they are really running up and down to ensure that they award tenders to non-students. Students thought that I was lying. Then, in realization, now you can see the current situation at Pwani University concerning tenders. Before even the tendering process was done, I had to draft a letter and took it to Dr. Patricia Mugo, who is now the current dean in charge of students' affairs. I wrote a letter only to ask the dean that this process should be taken to administration level. But then Dr. Patricia Mugo told us that let's wait and see. If at all any malpractices will be detected, then we will have to cancel the whole process and start newly again. Now, when we received the list of those people or those comrades who had been awarded the tenders, we only saw the student cohort 20 and cohort 22. Where are the students of cohort 21?
Maybe
do they mean that these students doesn't have money, doesn't have skills of running tenders?
Maybe they didn't apply.
How? Now, if they didn't apply, that means they didn't carry out this exercise of awareness very well. Them being leaders, they have to ensure that this thing becomes very competitive so that the highest bidder should take it, have experience. And if they didn't, or they fail to create a good awareness of this tendering process, it has resulted into negative, I can say negative situation that we are having. The H1 or the canteen C, it's not running. And we know very well, according to Constitution, the section that talks about the investment, if at all you've been awarded a tender and fails to be active within the first 2 weeks, that tender should be revoked and then announced new for other applicants to take place.
Now, maybe, Senator,
Yes.
the tendering has had its own issues. Now, you from the opposition, being the opposition spokesperson, what are you going to put in place to ensure that the coming of the bursaries, because students are asking around if bursaries will be given, how sure are we it will be open, just, and fair? You as the spokesman of the opposition, what mechanisms of the opposition team that you guys are putting in place to ensure that this process is going to be open to all students, fair and just?
The issue about bursary allocation, the issue rotates between bursary. It's a constitutional requirement that that particular exercise should be done in a free and fair way. But if by any chance we will be having issues with the bursary, we as the opposition shall issue a statement about it. And after the issuance of statement, we'll write letters to respective offices. We have done it before with the tendering issue. We wrote several letters. For the first time in history, the dean's office cancelled a letter written by the students' leader. It has never happened, but we did it. So with the bursary process, let them try anything unfair, and we'll be there for them. Yeah.
Okay, now I was one day going through Pwani once and nikaona mahali wamesema kuna mkutano ya opposition ya kusherekea. Cheloti, can you unajua wewe ndio mweka hazina huko. Pesa najua. Pesa ni your docket. Is it true? Niliona someone said it's a lie and stuff. Maybe let's hear from the horse's mouth. Is the bash going to be there, or the appreciation party?
You know, as the finance secretary of the opposition team, when you compare the financial muscle the financial muscle of the CAN and the CRM, you have the answer. I can't talk of it. We have money. We have money. Even today, when we decide to call for all the CAN members or supporters, they will run because they know they'll have some handouts, only to take them back home. They will eat, they will celebrate. You know, when you win you celebrate. But us too, when we lost, we equally celebrated. Because when you get into politics, you either expect either sides.
Yeah.
You either win or lose. So we celebrated. No, none of us was taken to hospital because he has. You see?
Yeah.
Now, just to prove to you that we are soon going to have a meeting, in fact, a mega rally, that we are going to take it to the nearby hotel. In fact, one of the biggest hotel. We have already booked. I have the receipts. You know, by bad luck, my phone is off and it doesn't use your simple charger. So just bear with me that when I charge my phone, I'll have to show you
The receipts.
The receipts. We have booked.
Wow.
We have prepared some big cows for them only to celebrate. And we will also tell them why we've called for this celebration meeting. Only to celebrate that we are still existing, we are still alive, and we are championing for the betterment of their welfare.
Wow. I think now students, kuna mali tunaenda kula mbuzi. Godena banatengeneza tumbo my guy. Tunaenda kukula mbuzi mahali sana. And that was the King's Lounge. Remember, it's a conversation that cannot end right now.
Yeah.
They have just started the journey. It's around 1 month or 2 months into the current regime. And maybe, Senator, before we just give out our closing remarks to the discussion today, maybe what do you think about the HELB issue? Was it well addressed from the Pwani University angle?
It wasn't. The issue about HELB, with the issue about HELB, when we are having a student leader coming out telling us that we are going for a maandamano, just like that, already tells you that we are having a problem. Because all along, if at all we are planning something good for people, we need to bring out the ideas of everybody. So everybody should be brought on board and be told, this is how it is. What should we do? We'll have given out our ideas. But this is a guy who decided to threaten that they are going for a maandamano. We were waiting for it. And we knew it could not materialize. That's what we knew. Because, at the moment, I've been following the history of the PUSA chair. And I'm told the guy has never been suspended in high school. He has never been expelled in high school. That means this someone who has never stood for anything. So if you're having someone who has never stood for anything, telling us that we're going for a maandamano, without the backup of those who have been radical to several systems, is quite something that all of us can agree that we're having a problem. But there's no leader, in his wisdom or lack of it, could have called with the opposition, because in terms of resources, the opposition is more resourceful than the government. And even that's why in our campaigns as CAN coalition, we always used to say, we have more money than them. Most of our candidates, most of them are people who had mingled with money. Most of us who are the supporters, we are people who have at least touched money. So, and even the brand of branding us as cartels came because they knew that we were more resourceful than them. So that was the reason as to why they decided to call us cartels. So we had more money, and even till today, we are more resourceful than the government. The only thing that they are having are offices. Because even with power, we are having our come together bash on 28th this month. It will be a Mashujaa Day. Venue will be communicated. And you'll see wonders there. Because it's a very big event. Several big people will be attending.
Including me.
Yeah, everybody. Everybody is actually invited. It's a very big event.
Wow.
It's a very big event. The organizing committee is working day in, day out to ensure that the event becomes a success.
Sisemi kitu man. Mimi hapo sisemi kitu. From the King's Lounge, this was the King's Palace. Thank you very much guys for coming. Cheloti, what is your last word to the students of Pwani University as we end this?
Now, to the students of Pwani University, they just have to bear with us that this time round, the government doesn't belong to the government. The government belongs to the opposition. Simply because the only sober-minded people are the ones on the opposition. And these other guys who call themselves leaders, they are only drunkards. Even today is a proof that these people usually work under the influence of alcohol. Once when you call the president or the sports entertainment, he will not pick your call because by now he's drunk. That is the only proof I can say. And even the office, the administration office, once when we had a meeting with them, I can't reveal, it is a private thing, they told us that these guys, they are working under influence of alcohol. Now, how will they defend our interests as comrades now? How will they defend a comrade who has been found on the wrong? They can't. Now, to the comrades, I only beseech them that let us work together with the opposition to correct the government fully and to be the watchdogs of ourselves.
Senators said on 20th, there is a party. Remember to attend. I was the king of the day. My name is Mwavali Derrick. Dangote. My guest was Anthony Cheloti, the CAN secretary or the CAN finance secretary aspirant in the last election of Pusa, and the CAN spokesperson, famously known as Senator Pwani, but his real name is Abel Kadima. Till we again, remember, they usually say that if a nursing nurse can nurse a nursing nurse, so you can't a nursing nurse, nurse a nursing nurse, when a nursing nurse is nursing a nursing nurse. Have a lovely day.